I mean, there is just something special about playing outdoors. Goalies with 2 or more wins. You see the king there? And then there's Craig Anderson standing alone second with the most wins outdoors with 3. And we are honored to be joined by Craig Anderson of the Buffalo Sabres. Now, Craig, thanks for stopping by, hanging with us. What is it about playing outdoors that you love?
I just think it makes the game so much fun. I think it goes back to your roots. It goes back to you and your kid. You kind of put the whole, the work or the job part of the game away, and you just go out there and you play the game. And, it's just a great experience, the fanfare about it, the experience, the energy. It's I think every player should have the opportunity to play one. It's a great overall experience from start to finish.
Craig, it's been a really eventful last several days, actually, for you, and a really good week for everybody with the Buffalo Sabres. You won your 300th game last week, and it was in a memorable situation as you guys beat Jack Eichel and the Vegas Golden Knights in a full building that night. You end up, though, for you've played in this league for such a long time. You're the 6th American-born goalie to reach 300 wins. I mean, what was going through your mind as you let that sink in over such a long journey that you've had?
Honestly, I didn't know if I was ever going to get it. I think with the league shut down a couple of years ago and then being on the taxi last year, the opportunity came here with Buffalo, and, I thought everything was going to be fine and dandy. And then, I missed almost 3 months with a neck injury. So, it's one of those things where fate, has run its course. I've been able to reach that milestone and kind of get that weight off my chest, and now just continue to play and have some fun playing.
Yeah, just to elaborate on that a little bit, you're 40 years old. I retired in my mid-30s, and I don't think I could play the game the way the game's played right now, just how physical, the skating. Was there any times where you almost thought about calling her quits, or just the desire to play, to continue to play, kind of gone away?
From when you're kind of at home in the summer and you're kind of going through the routine of what it kind of takes to stay ready, and you kind of get that itch, and if you still have that itch to kind of come back and battle to do the work off the ice with the prep for training camp, I think you still have to give it a go. I mean, even when I was hurt there and you're still battling through, you kind of start second guessing things, but all the young guys there, they're battling, they're like, hey man, we need you back, and that's just kind of motivation there to say, hey, all right, I'm going to buckle down here and do everything I can to give myself a chance. And, lo and behold, we're still having fun. You go to the rink every day to these kids, and they love the game, and it kind of carries over into, my attitude as well.
November 30th, 2002, your first NHL victory. Take me back to that day and what you remember of it.
I remember it was 7-0, so I got the shutout out of the way with the win, two birds, one stone.
Love it.
Freddie Brathwaite. So I spent training camp with him in Calgary. A guy that, took a young goalie. We went out to dinner, went out to, a little bit of nightlife there in Calgary when I was, 18, 19 years old as a draft pick. And then to beat him in the first game was like, all right, that was kind of, it's a memory that's going to stick through my head because Freddie is such an awesome guy. I still talk to him in Ottawa when I was there. It was just one of those things where, it's surreal. It took forever to get that win, but once it started rolling, things started going in the right direction after that.
Yeah, they certainly have. You're interesting, Craig, to me because, you grew up as a young boy in the Illinois area playing goaltender at that time, and the position has evolved throughout your life to where it is now. Give me your thoughts on the changes at that position that you've had to experience, that you've probably had to make changes to your game as time has gone on.
I think the main thing, the game's gotten real fast. A lot of east-west plays. I think I've gone through maybe 3 or 4 different styles on how to play from behind, when the puck's below the goal line or down below the hash marks. There was a time where you obviously stood on your feet. There was a time where you were always hugging only one post, and now everyone's on their knees, skate on the post. Tuukka Rask was a skate in the post guy, so I've kind of juggled around with a lot of those different scenarios and try to figure out what works best for me. In every game it changes. In every practice you're trying something new, and you kind of go with where the body goes on those type of plays. But everything's more east-west. from your first forward down to your 12th forward, all the guys can shoot now. The sticks are so good that you got to respect everybody, and that just makes the like the mental side of the game that much stronger, because you used to be able to take shifts off where it's like, all right, well, these guys are using wood sticks. They're fourth line guys. Like, it's not going to be a difficult shot if they do have one. Now, everybody's a threat. There's always going to be a play. Your fourth line guys are just as skilled as some of the players, on the second or third line from, 10, 12 years ago. So being mentally sharp is probably the biggest, difference in the game now for a goalie.
I always like asking goalies, out of all your teammates, who has the sneakiest shot on your team right now?
Right now, I would go with Tage Thompson. Obviously it's no secret he's been lighting the lab for us, but the big long stick, the extra whip on it, and he's got pinpoint accuracy right now. So, kudos to him, and hopefully he's able to continue with his development on that. And guys are going to start figuring him out, and he's going to have to start figuring goalies out as well. So I'm interested to see kind of where that kind of goes.
Cool, good to know.
You've seen a lot of awesome players. What about Dahlin making his first All-Star game?
Dahls has been great for us. I think he, he's kind of come into his own and kind of simplified himself and played within his limits. And the guy is a world-class, player. There isn't really anything he can't do with the puck. It's just a matter of him getting the confidence to do it and then knowing when to do it. There's a time when throw it off the glass and buy time. There's also a time when you can be a little fancy. So he's learned that, and I think he's, grown leaps and bounds this year as far as, leadership qualities and his work ethic is second to none. He's, always a guy out there who's out there early, out there late, making sure that he's doing the extra and working on his game to make sure that he's ready to go.
Hey, Craig, I can't let you go without asking. I mean, what's the future hold right now? Because you've played very well of late. You've been a huge help in Buffalo for a young team there. The deadline is coming up. I'm sure there are teams that are looking for an experienced guy like yourself. Maybe Buffalo even wants to bring you back next year. What do you think? What's the future hold for you?
It's a little too early to tell at the moment. I think we're going to, just kind of see how the next week plays out. I mean, you guys probably know more than I know as far as the rumor mill, but, wherever it might be. I've loved my time in Buffalo. I love working with the guys here. I love coming to the rink every day. If that's the fate of the rest of the year, I'm ecstatic about being here with them. And if it happens to be some team, needs a guy to be an emergency insurance policy, that's if that's what my fate is, that's going to be, just the way the hockey world works out. But can't speak to the future after that. It's too early to tell. We'll see. I don't know.
Craig, the hard-hitting question comes from EJ. I'm going to give you the softball. Everybody in this room and in our control room wants to know what's up with the balloon behind you.
Yeah.
That's a Valentine's Day from the wife. I've been in Buffalo. They've been in Florida, and for Valentine's Day, she sent up a Valentine's Day balloon and some chocolate-covered strawberries. So it's still floating. So
the love's still burning. I love it.
I love it.
That's awesome.
That's fantastic. Hey, kudos to everything you have done so far, and we love watching you out on the ice, and we want to keep seeing more of you. Thanks for joining us, man.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.